Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Press the Action Button podcast on digital-delirium.com. I am your host, Joystick. With me this week is Glitch. Say hello to Glitch, everyone. He's back.
Was that Shin-Chan or something?
Yes. Yeah. Glad you all got that. It's a classic piece of animation.
That was a fine hello. Also with me, you just heard him twice, is Game Face. Say hello, Game Face.
I do make a bit of an impression, but I'm just going to stick to basics right now and say it. Here it is. Hello.
The warrior wouldn't say hello like that. He'd be like,
from the deepest paths of destruction in the plane of time. We're not doing the role play episode this time. I just don't have the wherewithal. And we're all three of us are very, very out of it at the moment.
But the warrior is funny.
Yeah, he is. The warrior.
Dude, you should really see some more videos of him on YouTube. Okay, try not to be as loud as we were last week, not only because the downstairs neighbor could hear us, but
also because our audio volumes are a little bit out of whack.
Yeah, they were a little bit out. I mean, last week sounded better than the week where I had to bump up the volume constantly, but
it's only so much you can do with freeware.
Yeah, I can only do so much with this program.
By the way, Glitch, do you want a beer too, or are you good?
I'm good.
Okay, just making sure.
Anyway, yeah, I am once again a happy man this week. Why, you ask? Well, the Braves won. The Padres did not win. The Braves are headed to the playoffs.
Padres have a stupid name. The Braves have a hardcore name. They make me think of Mel Gibson. Therefore, I am rooting for them. That's pretty much how I do it when I try to get into sports. I just can't, so I just pick whoever has the coolest name or who else is from a city that I would prefer to go to.
Well, the Braves are from Atlanta. They'll be playing in the first round against San Francisco, the Giants.
See, Atlanta is cool, but
San Francisco's too gay for your taste.
Frisco is pretty cool.
I just go by whatever team has the coolest colors. Really.
Yeah. Every time I watch basketball, which is probably the only sport that I can follow, if it's two teams I'm not familiar with, I just go off of which town sounds the least snooty.
Hey.
Oh, Baltimore versus Albany. Screw Albany. They're a bunch of schnobs. Baltimore for the win.
You know what? You could easily follow NASCAR. I mean, you could get drunk, fall asleep for half the race, wake up and see who is in the lead, and suddenly you're caught up.
I think it would be cool to go to one of those races in Monaco where they have those racetracks that weave throughout a whole city, and you're just at a cafe or something, and every so often, every 15 minutes, always you hear the noise. Here come our cars. Let's see, what the update's on. And then 30 seconds later, all right, 15 more minutes of dining in peace.
Yeah.
Total immersion spectator sports.
That's the kind of thing that they got over in Europe and on Gran Turismo.
Well, actually, if you want to see a good match, if you want to see a good race, you got to go either with
drag racing.
Well, that too, but also at a local dirt track, actually, one of those sportsman cars.
Yeah.
Around here. Or
I'm not gonna lie, drag racing can be pretty fun. But then again, none of the race lasts more than a couple seconds, so it's kind of hard to get bored.
Or you could actually go to a rally race, actually. One of not in the city, but a planned out course around the country, where pretty much just one guy and what I call the spotter, where basically tells them, okay, you gotta turn left here, you gotta make a sharp left turn here, so you gotta get ready for it. And
it's fun.
You know what someone needs to build? Truckosaurus.
Yes.
You remember Truckosaurus on The Simpsons? Someone needs to build Truckosaurus. I would totally go see Truckosaurus.
I think they've done things like that. They're always insultingly short-lived. Someday.
It's a giant mechanical dinosaur that eats trucks. How is that not awesome?
That is pretty awesome.
probably cost a shitload just to get it to run, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Hank Hill comes in.
They bring in so much. Yeah, they bring in so much revenue.
Hank Hill has watched people race lawnmowers. Hank Hill has raced lawnmowers.
That's just asinine. Actually, no, I would do that.
Which is kind of funny because he doesn't have an ass.
Yeah, he doesn't. We found that out on one of the episodes. I think that was the one where he did race lawnmowers, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, that was the reason why. I find it funny because whenever you see the shot of his ass, it's like, it's hilarious. It's the most it is the funniest thing on that show I've ever seen.
I think the funniest thing on that show I've ever seen was Bobby going, "That's my purse! I don't know you!" and kicking people in the testicles.
You actually would believe how many YouTube poops I actually found with that same episode. And the same guy that did the episode of the Life and Death of Hank Hill has done.
I've been watching that like every day. Look it up on YouTube, The Life and Death of Hank Hill or Mr. Hill. It takes a little while to get funny, but then it's just the random video effects. The part where Dale's lawnmower has just a random like scowl and a pair of sunglasses drawn onto the seat. A picture of some ugly guy like on the front.
My favorite part is still the Hank Hill lolling.
Lol. My favorite part is Slills. I got Mary's 14-year-old little brother saying that. He'll come over and be like, "Hey, Alex, Slills." We got... No, my favorite part in that one, actually. This is so stupid that we're actually reviewing a YouTube poop. How pathetic is that?
We'll get to the topics after this.
I like the part where they give Dale the photos of evidence and they just put like a picture of some real ugly guy on the front and he's like drops them and screams. Some freaky guy with big eyes and a unibrow and he's like, "Ah!"
I love when they had like Boomhauer and Bill Hauer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Boomhauer goes off doing this thing, and they'll just randomly flip it into reverse so it makes even less sense. And then he does it long enough that Bill's head just turns into Boomhauer's head and starts going...
One of my favorite moments from that show is when...
The show, not the poop.
Yeah, is when Boomhauer met...
Tom Petty.
Yeah, Tom Petty. And Tom Petty sounded just like Boomhauer. What are we drinking?
Miller Lite. Because we, not so much that we're we're just lazy this week. And I didn't feel like going out again. So, pop it up. And now, just for all you people who are still listening.
Splashing sensation in the back of your throat. Uh-huh.
Dang it, Joystick, you don't even know what you're agreeing to.
Damn it, Hank.
Yeah, I think there is, going back to the poops, actually, there is a certain level
Poop.
Yeah, well, no. Like all poops in general, there is a certain way there's an art form to doing it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it just... It's kind of a balance between just pure randomness and kind of making sense. I saw a hilarious one of Wilford Brimley the other day.
So you know what would be perfect for doing YouTube poops of? Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Because it always walks the fine line between randomness and making sense.
I'll have to look that up. I saw a remix of some Wilford Brimley Diabetes Liberty Medical commercials. Diabetes the other day, and there's one that ends up with saying, "So what I really have to say is, screw you, screw people with diabetes, screw your family, and most of all, screw my life." And there's another one where he says, "I eat some ice cream, and some hot dogs, and some people with diabetes." And then there's just dead silence, and then 5 minutes of him going, and we'll call Liberty.
Diabetes, bitch.
He makes me giggle.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about, because...
Mushroom.
Oh, please.
Like, you can't always do the same thing. You can't have somebody repeating the same word over and over. That's not funny. You get like for me the best poofs out there.
Sometimes that becomes funny if it wasn't funny to begin with, and there's like, how many times are they gonna? And then the giggle just kind of works its way out.
Yeah.
Sometimes jokes are repeated so much they quit being funny, and then they continue repeating it till it's funny again.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, to me, the best poofs have kind of like a story underneath all the randomness. Like with the myth, like the life and death of Mr. Hill.
Mm-hmm.
There's a short little story in between there.
I like how they make it seem like Bill really did go crazy. Like they put in the creepy music when people were laughing at him, and they threw in a tip of the hat to Castlevania. Sometimes they're really Bobby.
I really, really want to get Super Castlevania 4. That game is amazing.
I've got it.
Isn't that the PlayStation one?
No,
that's Symphony of the Night.
Okay.
Symphony of the Night.
Super
was
Castlevania
also,
4 is the one for Super Nintendo, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's also,
Anything
I think
for
it's
Super Nintendo is
Rondo
good.
of Blood, but do not
Yeah.
quote me on it. But there's one for the Genesis.
That sounds familiar.
And then there was actually another one for the PlayStation 1 called Castlevania Chronicles. I don't know anything about that one. It's supposed to be good, but it's rare.
I belched.
You guys want to get to the first topic?
Sure.
No. But I think we're going to anyways.
I'll get to your mom if we don't get to the topic.
Mom likes moms.
Your mom likes grandmas.
Awkward. Anyway.
Medal of Honor multiplayer will no longer be letting you play as the Taliban. They have been renamed, and I quote, opposing force, after protests by families of soldiers killed in Iraq. But why is it so much more offensive for people to play as the Taliban than it is for people to play as Nazis?
Because people have a short attention span, I'm guessing.
I mean, I don't get it. But I don't get it.
Well, I know I'm probably going to lose some popularity here, but
It's a proximity thing. Anyway.
exactly. Well, yeah, pretty much. There's
Can you lose popularity on a show that never had popularity to begin with?
in my
Well,
mind,
negative
yeah.
popularity would still be good popularity, they say.
But well, let's put it this way: you know the Nazis were evil from the because clearly Nazis were evil,
Yeah.
and Taliban, that's kind of a mixed bunch, really. Because one,
Whoa.
well, no, because some of them are just kind of be forced to do this kind of stuff because
Well, the Nazis were the same way.
There's some people who just kind of
I
got
mean,
sucked along with it.
Most the vast majority of people who were Nazis were not even aware of the Holocaust. The only people that knew about it at the time were the SS.
Provocative. I
True,
remember me and
but-
Andrew had a rant about this a while ago. That ended up with him saying, it's like they were victims of a fascist government. They couldn't just leave.
They could have
I said
died.
they could have died.
Yeah, that was
What
on
a
the
safe
podcast.
face. Yeah, I know.
we made a video out of that. He's like, touche.
Touche. Ah.
But I just don't see how playing as the Taliban is any worse than playing as the Nazis. The Nazis happened longer ago. Does that make
just
them...
because this was more current. I think that's the only reason.
That is the only reason. And that doesn't make
Yeah,
any sense to me.
But yeah, well, yeah, it's kind of like how if something's tragic, it takes about 22.45 years for it to be funny.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing
I laugh at
So
Nazis all the
AIDS
time.
is funny? No.
AIDS is funny.
AIDS was funny about 5 years ago.
South Park did an episode about it. AIDS is finally funny!
It's freaking Hitler had a funny mustache, and the only reason he was so mad at the world was because he couldn't get his hair to part right.
No. He was calling pizza places and having pizza sent over to Jewish people's houses, and then the Holocaust happened. They don't know. That's how the Holocaust started, eh?
And then he accidentally the Holocaust?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I find really hilarious, though? Apparently, Hitler was a gigantic
Vegetarian?
Walt Disney fan.
Wow.
Like, seriously, he had meetings where they actually had to have
Well, Walt Disney was supposed to be anti-Semitic or something, wasn't he?
Exactly. No.
Wow. Small world. He was also a vegetarian.
Walt
Figure that
Disney
one
or-
out. Hitler. We bring up Nazism a lot on this show.
I don't know.
Scary.
For a vegetarian, he sure cooked a lot of Jew meat.
Mm-hmm.
That was bad.
That was really bad. Children died when they heard that, you realize.
I think Higmo is ashamed now.
It's okay, Higmo. We know you're 1/3 Jewish, if that's even possible.
Yeah, he's
Can you
1/3
be a-
Jewish, 1/3 direct descendant of Hitler,
Wow. And 1/3 clown.
and 1/3
No, mime. It's more
Austrian.
random. It's 1/3 Nazi, 1/3 Jew, and 1 part gay?
white supremacist.
Clayton Bigsby.
He's
How about
1/3 descendant of Clayton Bixby.
We just ruined our careers.
We had careers. I think we could say whatever we want on this podcast because no one listens any.
So, penis, penis, penis. Vagina, vagina, vagina.
Cock, titty, balls, dick, pussy.
Wow. And we're not even drunk.
You ended that with some serious phlegm there.
It was a Yiddish. It was a Yiddish F-bomb. You have to when you say it.
Whenever you have to do a long fuck.
It just kind of builds up. It builds up in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason why I brought it up, I was watching a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, so yeah. But yeah, back to the Taliban and comparing it to the Nazis.
Well, obviously the Taliban aren't as bad as the Nazis.
You know, I've heard a lot of people
compare
George W. Bush to Adolf Hitler. Hey, there's a huge difference, okay? Hitler wrote a book.
I wonder if Bush has written a book yet, because usually the president will write a book.
Someone else write a movie about him.
No. Usually after the president is no longer president anymore, he'll write a book.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he did
Obama
that.
already did it.
Do you know there were comics with Obama in it?
Obamics?
There was seriously a comic where Obama teamed up with Spider-Man.
Wasn't there also a Conan, few books of that, with Obama as Conan the Barbarian or something?
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Obamarian? I'm trying. I had this idea for like this ongoing story where like George Bush and Barack Obama and like Ann Coulter and like Rahm Emanuel and just like all these people who you'd think would like hate each other are actually in cahoots with each other to like
Ruin the world?
no, they're all in cahoots with each other to like protect the world from extraterrestrials or something, and the only person who doesn't know about it is Rush Limbaugh, and he's like so behind the times, and then he gets sucked into like this whole big like powwow between like all these people who just you'd think hated each other, and they're all at this big barbecue or something at some bunker, and he's like, what's going on?
Obama's like, hey George, how's my steak coming? A couple more minutes, Obama.
Barack's like trying to plan another vacation or something, and he's like, oh, I'm just looking at about 13 or something.
Oh, I'm a visit my good pal George Bush for vacation.
13 what, 1,300? His chief of staff is like, yeah, do you want another $13,000? I was thinking a million. And then Bush is just kind of kicking it in the corner, like taking a nap under a cowboy hat, and he's like, oh, come on, you heard the boy, cut the kid a check.
Okay, so yeah, we should move on. We've been off
These were
topic for a while.
offensive.
Both Democrats and Republicans alike are in a
They
corner
all
crying somewhere.
They all suck, anyways.
Oh, by the way,
any politicians.
speaking of politics, if I'm going to interject right
Politics.
here, on October 30th, I'm actually going down to Washington, D.C. because apparently Jon Stewart is...
Yeah, the Restoring Insanity or something.
I'm going to that. I've already had my bus tickets reserved, so...
Oh, my parents said they wanted to go to that. Did you hear about Stephen Colbert addressing Congress?
Yeah, I was like...
did you see the routine that he did? Because he went up there in character.
Yeah, like he was like... I don't want my...
Tomato picked by a Mexican. I want a tomato picked by an American. And then sliced by a Guatemalan. And served on a sandwich by a Peruvian. He makes me giggle.
While a Venezuelan's giving me a Brazilian.
Yeah. How many is a Brazilian?
Yeah, you don't want to know, dude.
That's an old joke.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. So, from the world of that's bullshit comes this piece of news.
Butterflies
The
taste with their feet.
$130 PlayStation 3 Rock Band 3 bundle that is to come with the keyboard and the game will not be available in North America. That's the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Due to agreement terms for the region. That was all the details they gave us on why it's not coming to America. But it is coming to Europe and all those other countries.
I've said it once, and I'll say it again.
This bundle for the Wii, there's going to be a North American bundle that comes with the two. For the 360, the same, you know. So why is it the PS3 gets the short end of the stick on this?
Maybe it's just kind of revenge for everybody else gets their copy of Left 4 Dead 2 or something really cut away, and then we get all the good stuff, and now all of a sudden Rock Band gets the keyboard distributed everywhere else, and we get it.
We invented rock and roll, and Canada, invented synthesizers in rock and roll. So,
what about Mexico?
Yeah, we did.
Mexico invented awesome
Mexico
food.
invented luchadors.
And some awesome food.
Yes, they did.
And some some pretty good beers too.
Yeah, they did. But
Tequila!
this makes no sense. I mean, this is the only bundle that Rock Band 3 is coming with because they figure most people who are going to buy Rock Band 3 don't need the peripherals. And they're probably right at this point because everybody has, 6 guitars already, so...
Actually, the special Beatles edition. So.
The one thing that is unique to Rock Band 3, the keyboards... They're releasing a bundle of that. I don't understand the price of $130 when the original Rock Band came with a guitar for $100. Why is it $30 more expensive? But that's beside the point.
Okay, listen, guys. We got to pool our resources, take some computer programming classes, and create our own version of Rock Band with peripherals that only has one song. You Can Still Rock in America by Knight Rider. Yeah.
There aren't way too many art forms that are truly unique to the United States. Rock and roll is one of them, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else is another one?
What?
Comic books.
Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah, they are. Comic books were invented in the United States.
I mean, yeah, they were, but they picked up. I mean, Japan is still a close second because they picked them up very, very early on. Like 20s.
Yeah, but it's still United States first. But
yeah, I mean, by 10 or 20 years.
I don't know. You can go in the whole comic book thing with probably started between in England about the political cartoons, all that. But
well, there's a difference between political cartoons and an actual comic book, though. And the comic book is from the United States.
My dad, I think, got a vintage Mr. Natural.
We're going off topic again, real bad.
You guys ever hear of R. Crumb? He was awesome. He got me an illustrated book of Genesis written by R. Crumb. This guy is very, very, very heavy. And it's really cool stuff. It's all stylized. It's really 60s looking.
this whole deal is just dumb to me. I mean, find a way to make it work. Release the damn thing. I mean, they're releasing the keyboard separately, and it's like the game is like $60 and the keyboard's like $80.
We've been seeing a wave of... I mean, traditionally in the video game industry, it was you hype something up, and then you wait until after people buy it to let them realize that they've been ripped off. Now they're not even letting us get that far with this, and with the whole NBA Jams BS. And what's going on? It's like they're going out of their way.
Speaking of which, I should have done this on last week's podcast, and it didn't. So I'll just mention it briefly here. NBA Jam, you can now buy it as a standalone because NBA Elite has been delayed because the game is buggy. So thank God for bad programming, I guess.
Oh, jeez. They screw something up and it benefits us.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
They got a bunch of snidely whiplashes running the video game industry now who just want to see us all cry.
That's the only reason we're getting a standalone version of it, like downloadable content for the PlayStation 3 downloadable game and the Xbox 360. It's still like... There's still a mode stripped of it from that, and there's a mode stripped of it from the Wii as well, so, I mean, you're still not getting the full game, no matter which version you buy. So it's still pretty bullshit, but it's better than it was.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for Half-Life to get release info on
I'm still
Half-Life 3.
I'm still waiting for the Dreamcast 2.
I just want Half-Life 2, Episode 2, Episode 3, damn it. I've been waiting for like 3 years for that. What the hell, Valve? I would trade Portal 2 and both Left 4 Dead games if you would just give me Half-Life 2 Episode 3.
I don't know. But, it's Valve's company, their decision, but then again, we buy their product, so...
They have a cool logo.
Yeah.
I think their logo is just Morpheus from the Matrix that they edited in a spigot over top of his, like Matrix socket.
Looks like it.
I just realized that.
Anyway, the next topic.
Rockin' America.
Okay, Blizzard a couple weeks ago said that they would start doing mass bannings if the cheating in StarCraft 2 did not stop. It didn't stop, of course, because hackers and cheaters are lame.
Bunch of betards.
And this week, Blizzard banned 5,000 accounts. I respect Blizzard for this. Blizzard keeps their word. They try their damnedest to stop cheaters, and every couple of months you'll see something like this where they'll ban 5, 10, 15,000 accounts.
It's like Reagan firing all those air traffic control people. Dang it! There I go back to politics again.
That was funny though, because they said you couldn't fire all of us, and he's like, yeah, I can.
It's like, yeah, and I think I will. That I cracked up the first time I heard that. It was funny. But anyway.
Yeah, but StarCraft, like, is it like, are they, you know any details of this? Like, are they just banning the people who's using cheating for their online games, or just like cheating because they want to get through the single player mode through?
Well, I think they included cheat codes in the single player mode, and they're not going to ban people from that. But people that use cheating programs and hacking programs and stuff like that, online gaming, that's not fair to everybody else that plays fairly, and Blizzard does something about it.
Yeah. Well, actually, what's kind of funny is that I go to Harrisburg University. What's funny is that we actually did have we were the nationwide. We had like nationwide headlines that said that we actually banned Facebook for about a week now.
Wow.
About 2 weeks, so we banned it for about a week, and apparently made national headline news.
Wow.
So yeah, but what was hilarious is that
I can't believe there's a Facebook movie. Anyway.
I was going to see that this weekend. Anyway.
But yeah, apparently they didn't take a note that this is a technology school. So
yeah.
I usually sit in the back, and there's about 15 screens in the room. About 13 out of the 15 ones were all on Facebook through the ban, because all the people in my discrete mathematics class
We're being very discreet about it.
Yeah. Oh no, they're all from the computer security, so they have to know their way around computers and software and bands and all that.
So, use a jump station.
That too, but
I found one of those on a porn site when I was in high school.
Oh, just a quick note. You asked if it was Michael Cera in the Social Network movie.
Yeah, it's not.
It's Jesse Eisenberg.
Huh.
Who was in...
Because Michael Cera is a decent actor, but he's in too much now. It's kind of
well, Jesse Eisenberg has spent most of his career impersonating Michael Cera because he looks just like him. But he was in Zombieland.
Oh, yeah, okay. And yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But yeah, try to connect the Facebook ban with the StarCraft ban. They also banned IMs and such, and the online gaming as well, because apparently that qualified as instant messaging.
Man, I can't even check personal email at work.
But get this. Well, I didn't know. Apparently, yeah, they also played StarCraft 2 while in class. So, if they can go through the entire Facebook ban through a technology school on their server, then I can understand how people can get through cheating and all that through the for the servers over at Blizzard or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, still, Blizzard's not going to give up. That they want to discourage cheating as much as possible. And you know what? As a fair gamer, as someone who doesn't cheat and never has while playing online, I support that. Even in games where it's almost purely co-op, like Diablo 2, for example, and I'm just doing a run of the very first area to gain levels, the very first area of Act 5 to gain levels. I don't cheat, I don't use the map hacks and stuff like that to display the entire map. I don't do it.
Cheating in one player is customary. Cheating in multiplayer is a jerk move. Mm-hmm. Sorry, folks, it is.
It's like comparing Hitler to the Taliban. That's how super wrong it is.
You mean comparing them, making them seem different? Contrasting Hitler to the Taliban. Yeah. You know what this is like? This is like punching a baby in the nads. No, I had some other analogy and it just slipped out of my mind. Dang it!
Mental image.
Just grab him by one leg. Boom! You like that, baby? Boom!
It's like comparing...
Hey, baby! Stop selling weed!
Anyway.
I think I might have figured out.
Boom.
It's would you rather punch a baby in the face or kick a baby in the face?
Yes. That was horrible, too.
Oh, I was gonna say, cheating online is this is like bullies who don't even have the audacity to go out and punch a little, second grader in the face.
They're nerd bullies.
They're nerd bullies. They're
so
almost as bad.
Common too. I mean,
Possibly
everything
worse than trolls.
Everything that has online play has a lot of cheaters. Like Professional Jared from ScrewAttack.com a couple months ago held a Pokemon tournament at Game Attack, and he found out that most of the people that showed up for this tournament cheated to get a whole team of level 99 Pokemon. Most of them.
I remember being back in the 90s being in Pokemon League for one day just so I could get the Mew card when the movie came out. And then I never went back.
Yeah. Although, that does bring up a good point though, because I remember knowing it was okay if you exploit in the first Pokemon, the Blue and Red game, if you exploit the unknown number glitch, that would be fine. Yeah. At least in my school.
What, using missing number to get Mew?
I used to know a kid who exploited the crap out of those missing numbers. He had this lab in his room with 2 Game Boys and a slightly broken patch cable that glitched things up, that when he did a trade they would sometimes turn into other things, and he had it down to a science. It was awesome. He would get a missing number, he'd trade it back and forth, breed it, and have a Charizard with unlimited MP or something. It was nuts. He gave one to me once. It kind of sucked because there was only you had to go to a certain town to heal it, but it was heavy stuff. Man, he had a lab.
I admit I did use the missing number thing to get Mew. because Mew was awesome. You know?
I think we used Game Shark to get Mew, which is kind of a cop-out.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the whole mystery, the whole hidden Pokemon craze? There are all these rumors on the web. I
think people just made those rumors up.
Me
to
and
laugh at
my
people
brother
who tried it.
Me and my brother used to actually come up with. We try to alter images to make them look like other Pokemon. We were trying to circulate them. Didn't really catch on, but we heard some of the stupidest rumors, like, oh, you gotta circle this rock 1,000 times and then let your Game Boy on until the battery dies. And this one kid is actually like, oh yeah, you just gotta give your Pikachu a water stone over and over. If you do it about 50 times, it won't work, but if you do it about 50 times, eventually the game will just say, oh, screw it, and you'll get a Pika Blue. Remember the Pika Blue? Ooh. And then I said, do you have one? And he said, yeah, I got one. Like, can I see it? Oh, I forgot to save it.
So you don't have one?
He said, no, I actually tried it. I was like, let me see it. And he's like, forgot to save it.
So you don't have one.
That was always the cop-out. I forgot to save it.
But that actually does bring up a good point, though. Is it considered cheating if you use glitches that were programmed into the game?
That are already into the game? No.
I've seen some people use glitches in first-person shooters to get cheap kills, and that's annoying.
Hey,
I've seen technically illegal, though.
Yeah, it's not technically cheating, it's glitching, and it's still annoying, though.
Like a lot of speed runs.
If it's done with speedruns, I think that's perfectly fine. But if you're using it to get, the number one spot on the leaderboards or something, then you're not using... actually, a good point, though. I was actually a referee at a game tournament at my university.
Oh, cool.
And what happened was that a bunch of the kids were doing a multiplayer through Modern Warfare 2, and what happened was that we had a kid who was adjusting the rules behind our back in the game thing, because I was the one that was supposed to put the game together. No kill cams, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that kind of stuff. And while we were getting everything, we were getting the stacks and everything, he stayed back and changed, turned off the maps, turned on the perks and everything. Because we wanted this to be a pure skill-based challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And he was disqualified the second time he did it, because at first time we just thought, oh, you know what, it was probably just something wrong, what we did wrong, change the game modes, apparently did something like that. And he was...
It's going to be cool for skill-based, purely skill-based tournament type things is the...
Your mom?
The mode in... well, there's a couple modes you can do this, but the mode in Call of Duty Black Ops, where you start off with a pistol, and you have to get kills with that pistol to get a better weapon. And you just advance through the different weapons. Everybody starts off exactly the same. There's no different loadouts. And then there's another mode where you start off and you only have one bullet. And you have to make that one bullet count. And then you're reduced to your knife.
And then Dean died.
And both of those will be really good for purely skills competitions, I think.
But get this. I also had a kid who decided to, choose. We had a random map, and one map was Rust, and he actually exploited a glitch in the semifinals, where he basically jumped into a pillar, and it kind of made him stuck in there, so he couldn't get shot, but his gun was out, so he could still shoot.
Oh, I think that exploiting glitches should be permissible, because if glitches are allowed to exist in tournament gameplay, which there's no way to stop them, then you stand the chance of encountering a glitch that affects you negatively. Well, if they can allow that, like if you get stuck somewhere and you can't move for whatever reason because of global flowable wobbly bits, and you die because of it, they're not going to make you replay it. So if you should be able to benefit from such a glitch as well.
But then there's also then there's one-time shots, and then there's completely exploited every time you play.
Yeah.
Like if you, like for example, in the same tournament, if you decide to use that glitch over and over and over again every game you play, that's when you can consider it cheating.
Oh my gosh, there was this guy I was playing pool against with. Wow, this is really off topic. Well, not really, but he was like, he started off. He's like, okay, we playing side pocket or ace in the hole or something like that. And I was like, which one's which? He's like, let's just play straight 8. I was like, okay. And then like we got down to the wire, and I suck at pool. And this guy was like, oh, what, you're just gonna shoot the 8 ball straight in? Well, yeah, it's the easiest shot. He's like, no, man, you gotta get creative with it. So I was started like racking my brain. I kept missing it, of course. And I was racking my brains, like trying to find out like ways that were more creative to take the shot. And eventually, I was like, "Do you guys just want to go home?" Anyway, anybody want another beer?
Sure.
Okay. Well, that's the next topic first.
Nintendo announced the price of the 3DS at $300 US. The reason for this, the reason they cited, was the positive reception for the 3DS at E3.
That mega dumb.
Let's look at it like this. Okay. In 2004, Sony released the PlayStation Portable at the price of $250. People said that was too expensive. And then since then, people have complained about...
Second analog stick. Major downfall.
Yes, the second analog stick. And this system's coming out with one analog stick, so they're making the same mistake that Nintendo made with that, or that Sony made with that, and then they're pricing it as more than the PlayStation Portable was at launch. Why?
Well, here's the difference. The Nintendo DS has a touchscreen that you can actually use for first-person view. So you can play first-person shooters on it.
Yeah, I've played a couple good, decent first-person shooters. They're all fairly basic, but like Dementium the Ward really showed off what the 3DS could do as far as 3D gameplay goes and as far as sound goes. It's got probably the best sound of any DS game I've ever played.
Well, see, that's my rule of a new system. You always wait at least 3 months to purchase it, because usually the launch games aren't really that great.
This does look like it'll have some pretty good launch games on it, though.
And still, a guy like me who's in college and still working at the same time.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Like somebody that you can't actually. Yeah. I can't afford purchasing $60 games every time I want to play a game. I'm the guy who always goes into GameStop and looks in the 2 for $10 bin.
I do that a lot.
I actually found a copy of Time Crisis 2 in there. I wanted to purchase it so bad, but I didn't have.
The old crime Tices.
But there are some games that I will pay more for. Like Resistance 3, I'll probably buy that when it launches, because I love Resistance 1, 2, and Retribution. But Metal Gear Solid is another one that I will usually get it as soon as I possibly can.
And Portal 2.
Yes.
Portal 2 does look like the co-op mode looks awesome.
So again, with 4 different colors of portals. Blue, orange, mauve, and taupe.
We are not calling our car the Mauve Avenger.
What?
That was a Hey Arnold reference.
I don't remember that.
They were building a box car, and then they were trying to come up with a name for it, and some nerdy kid on the show suggested the Mauve Avenger, and then Arnold was like, "We are not calling our cart the Mauve Avenger."
Classy.
That was a good show.
Yeah, it was.
He had like the most eccentric grandpa in the world.
Red and sweet, good to eat, but I swear to the summit, the green will make you vomit. I do remember that. That guy was great. So how do I do that? I have no idea.
Here's my other big problem with this pricing on the 3DS. You know how much you could get a PlayStation 3 for?
$599 US.
$25.
$300 brand new. You could get a used one with games for less than that. You could get a used one with games for the same price as a 3DS without games.
But you won't get the giant Hemi crab, though.
Crab battle.
Depends upon what games you buy for the PlayStation 3. So if you get Genji, you'll get the giant enemy crab in historically accurate ancient Japan. No, seriously, they said that they were trying to go for historical accuracy or whatever in Genji 2. And he's like, so we have this giant enemy crab. You want to attack its weak point for massive damage.
Maybe that's...
And anticipate the angle of the dangle.
That was in a video of Mega Man 8.
Oh, yeah, I saw the
Anticipate
or something.
angle of the dangle.
When the very first weapon you get in that game is like a ball that you drop and you can kick it off walls and stuff at different angles. So they're doing like a playthrough of it, and this one guy said you have to anticipate the angle of the dangle.
How did that not become a meme? Seriously.
I don't know. There are some lines that I think should become memes, and they never did. Like,
the train is increasing in speed.
Like, in the new Alone in the Dark game, there's this one part where this woman gets all up in the main character's face. She's like, "Where's my stone?
I don't have your stone.
And fuck you anyway." That is meme worthy.
And then
Yeah,
Sparta kicks her into the hole.
What movie was that? Oh,
Yeah,
Woman in the
I remember a
Dark.
gameplay video following that up immediately, where he started beating the woman with a frying pan. My first thought was, he's going, "Get back in the kitchen, bitch."
I saw a preview. I forget what an action movie it was a preview for. But there's just this random clip in the preview where this guy just says, "The train is increasing in speed." It just, for some reason, unbeknownst to me, it just cracked me up uncontrollably.
There's
I
one
say
other
that throughout the whole
meme-worthy
movie.
line from that game as well.
Your mom?
"I am the light bringer. I am the fucking universe." The hell does that even mean?
And then there's one CKY, like Conan the Destroyer, I'll put you away. Who says that?
I have no idea.
No, I
But you know who
I like
deserves
yours
to be
better,
a
though.
you know who deserves to be a meme? Just
Your
quoting
mom.
him deserves to be a meme. The Ultimate Warrior.
Mhm.
Speaking, there should be a talk like the Ultimate Warrior Day, because there's a talk like Pirate Day. Just the ultimate talk like
Is there
the
a talk
Ultimate
like a
Warrior
Ninja Day?
Probably.
Dang.
But
Just don't talk.
Yeah.
if you ever hear a ninja say anything, it's too late and you're already dead.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You remember we were watching Ask a Ninja, and he said, "I'm really good at keeping secrets. I haven't even told my mom I was born yet."
That cracked me up. That guy's funny. He's punny.
Anticipate the angle of the dangle. But, okay, yeah. $300, too expensive. Sorry, Nintendo, I'm going to wait for it to drop like $200. But you know what Sony should do? Sony should see this as an opportunity to put out the PlayStation Portable 2 with a second analog stick at the price point of $200. People will stop and go, wait a minute, this other one is a lot less expensive. Maybe I should go with that.
But then there's also power backwards capabilities with the second analog stick, too.
Uh-oh.
But I
call
still
PS3
think that would make a
syndrome.
whole lot of people stop and think, wait a minute, this other system's a lot cheaper. I could get that and a couple games for the
Your
same
mom.
price that I'm getting the PlayStation or the 3DS.
Yeah, but there's also a lot. Well, I don't know. Nintendo has lost and then gained and then lost, casual gamers again and again. Like, for example, I remember last year.
Never in the handheld market. The Sony has done better in the handheld market than anybody else that's gone toe to toe with Nintendo, and by selling 50 to 60 million PlayStation portables, which on its own is a lot. People tend to forget that the PlayStation Portable has sold well if you don't look at the stats of the DS, which has sold absurd.
Yeah, but I owned a PSP for about 6 months, and then I sold it back for a Nintendo DS.
Nice. I've heard the DS. I never really played a whole lot. I played Rhythm Heaven. That's about the only thing I ever played on the DS. But I've heard that it's really, really, really versatile. I mean, I thought it was I thought the dual screen thing was a little bit awkward at first. You know, it's kind of overkill. But apparently, a lot of people just like it.
The DS is a good system, but switching back, like if you have to look at both screens at the same time, it's tough. I like games where you don't have to where you can concentrate on one screen mostly, like Castlevania on it. Uses one screen and the other screen is used to display something like a map, and it's used for touchscreen controls as well. That works well.
Didn't like the one Sonic game though, where you fly
Sonic
off one.
Rush?
Yeah, where you fly off one screen and end up on the other.
I haven't played Sonic Rush, but
You know what
you should try sometime?
Your mom?
Sonic Advance.
Yeah,
Game
I've
Boy.
heard.
I've heard that series is very, very good. It's supposed to be very good.
I'm so stoked about Sonic 4 coming out that I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting that there actually have been good Sonic games since Adventure.
Yeah, just none of them were major titles like the Sonic Advance games, and Sonic Rush games got reviewed well as well.
Or anything by the Sonic team, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
The only game that I could think would be a kind of good game between Adventure and number 4 probably is Sonic Heroes.
Sonic Heroes was interesting.
If they just focused more on the Knuckles, Tails, and Sonic, and forgot about all the other 4 teams that were on there, they could actually done a lot more with that.
What was Sonic Heroes like? Because I remember hearing about
Sonic Heroes had you controlling 3 characters at the same time, and you switched back and forth between them to use their different abilities to get through the levels.
For massive damage.
And it was a cool concept, and it's a lot better than most other 3D Sonic games, which is kind of like being the tallest midget in the circus. I tell you what wasn't bad and what showed a lot of potential to be very good, though. Sonic Chronicles on the DS. Did you play that?
I don't think I have, no, unfortunately.
It's from BioWare, so that's always a good place to start. But it's a Sonic RPG, and it's got some cool ideas that just are not that well executed. And you play it and you're like, if they could fix these problems, this could be a very good game.
Well, then you probably see that with any game.
Well, this is one of those ones where you're like, okay, I know there's a great game hiding underneath the wealth of problems, kind of like the first Kane and Lynch. There's some great and awesome moments in the first Kane and Lynch.
It's worth the things that detract from it.
Like rappelling down the side of the building and jumping through the window and killing the guys, and that was awesome. You know, the jailbreak scene in Kane and Lynch, that was awesome.
Quick question: do we have another topic?
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay. All right.
We should move on to it.
We got about 10 minutes.
Cyan Worlds and Mysteria Film Group have entered into a deal with Mark Johnson, who worked on Rain Man, Donnie Brasco, and the upcoming Chronicles of Narnia, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and Hunt
Voyage of Your Mom?
The executive producer of Donnie Darko, and they're going to make a Myst movie.
Yes, about 15 years after Myst was popular.
You know that there were books based on Myst?
Yeah. Did you know there was a PlayStation version of Revan? Just picture that. How's that going to work without a hard drive?
Ooh. Well, to be true, when I played Revan, it was on my dad's old E-machine, and it wasn't much more powerful than a PlayStation 1.
But it had a hard drive, right?
Kind of.
You could install Revan too, right?
Well, we had to play most of it off the disc. He had like maybe a couple.
Well, this was play all of it off the disc, and it was like click, load, for like 7 discs.
You ever see the biggest problem with the Myst movie is? It's kind of like the same thing that happened to the Double Dragon movie. Not that it was awful, but for the fact that the game came out 7 years before the Double Dragon movie.
So there was no hype.
Exactly. So, probably people based it on the cartoon, probably, because maybe that was immediately after the game. I'm not exactly sure of the history right now, but yeah, I mean,
I never even seen the Double Dragon movie.
Neither have either.
It's
Bad.
There's some good fighting in there, but let me just say this: one of the torture techniques in there is eating spinach over and over again until the guy gets fat. That's how they say, Bobo. That's the one of the main enemies in the game is like the Bobo guy.
Oh, a Bobo, yeah.
Yeah, instead of being a big muscular, big-headed guy, he's an insanely fat guy with like a really jugular dick. Like saying that your chin.
I know you said neck, but it sounded like you said something else. Anyway,
it's like the neck is so big, it's not even worthy of saying. You have a chin more than the names in a Chinese phone book. You have the name. It's like saying you have as many chins as there are names on Earth.
yeah.
It's like that big.
Ew.
Ew.
But yeah.
Will the Myst movie even work? I mean,
Well,
how much plot was in Myst? It's been so long since I played it.
There's a lot of story that you will only be aware of if you're like one of those cult followers of the games. Because, like I said, there have been books written about it. And I was reading one. It was about like this race of people who they had lived in this cave and they had never seen the light of day. And there was this huge expedition. They had this big vehicle that they were using to tunnel upward, and they were all excited about what they were going to see. And I didn't get very far into it, but apparently there's a lot of stuff that apparently Myst the games and probably Revan 2 are all just taking place in the aftermath of this great big almost like J.R.R. Tolkien-esque saga.
How many Myst games are there?
I think there's 3.
I know there was a Myst 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I just know
don't
Myst
remember if there was.
and
I
then
don't.
there was a Return to Myst or something. I forget what it was called.
Were the games just about solving puzzles and trying to get off an island?
Yeah, it was like a point-and-click adventure game.
Yeah, but there are little remnants of stories that you catch from place to place, and they don't go into too much detail because it's not crucial to the gameplay. And they just went into enough detail that it makes you wonder. It's like, what happened in this place that not only am I stuck here, but what happened that everything is the way it is, and why am I here alone? And why is everything the way it is? I wouldn't mind seeing that,
Yeah, but Hollywood, they'll probably ruin it just like they did the Resident Evil movies.
I saw the first Resident Evil movie in theater. It was decent.
There aren't very many good video game movies.
Well, the only good ones I can think about are
The new Prince of Persia was pretty good.
that and Mortal Kombat. I think was actually pretty good.
Silent Hill was pretty good too.
I liked Silent Hill. I actually liked that.
And then I also liked. Have you seen the Dead Space movie?
I haven't.
It wasn't a Hollywood film. It was an animated film done by the people that created the game. So I mean, it's a direct sequel to the game. So.
Have you seen the fan movie of Mega Man though, or the first Mega Man?
It's awesome.
Oh, that was good.
Have you seen it?
I haven't yet.
I encourage you to watch it.
There were a couple small complaints, but
I mean,
I liked it.
It's not perfect. The acting isn't all that great. The special effects aren't wonderful, but what do you expect from a guy with no money?
Wait, did you say you haven't seen it yet?
I have not.
You would like it. It's my only real complaint is the sound effects. They could have done a little bit more with the sound effects. There are parts where like Mega Man trips Guts Man. He falls on the pavement and there is no sound.
Yeah, they could have used pixelized or something, like from the game sound effects.
Well, they could have used stock sound effects. I mean, they did that at other parts.
Yeah. Well, the only problem though,
it wasn't perfect.
Well, the only thing I could see with using the actual game sound effects though is that copyright issues apparently.
Yeah.
The one thing that one thing they managed to do successfully with that was, I mean, the story for the early Mega Man games is very, very basic, and they have all of that in there, but they expanded on it without feeling like they were tearing it apart. It felt like it fit in just fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. and a lot of homage towards. Wow, we're going back and covering old material here, but yeah, they actually had like an orchestrated version of first stage of Dr. Wily's Castle McMahon 2. Everyone knows that. They had the Clay Man. That was great. They actually
had Dr. Wily's whole castle there.
They actually found a way to work in the select screen
And the dark dark version
Man.
of Mega Man that you fight in that game.
They didn't give him a lot of. It just kind of came and went though. But yeah, it was.
Well, it was cool there. It was just cool to see him, and it had Proto Man as well.
Roll was kind of annoying, but she was annoying in a campy kind of a way, so I let that slide.
Plus, she was barely in the first game anyway, so
Yeah.
Can't really give her a character. She's not really much in the games, anyways.
And Dr. Wily looks. His mustache could like kill children. Oh, that mustache was awful.
There's one other Mega Man.
He always
There's
looked
one
like
other.
he just got done making bacon or something.
There's one other fan movie that I really wanted to see, and I will get around to it eventually, and that is Metal Gear Solid Philanthropy. Not only is Hideo Kojima aware of this movie,
Yes, you pronounced his name right. Sweet.
but he endorses it. He said I've seen it and I like it. You know,
I saw my film and I liked it.
and you could tell they didn't have much budget for the very first 30-minute short that they did. It was called Metal Gear Solid: The White Land at the Edge of Forever or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but The White Land on the Edge of the World, something similar to that. And it was about a 30-minute short film that they did that takes place very, very shortly after Metal Gear Solid 1 and sets up him and Otacon kickstarting Philanthropy. And that was really well done. I mean, it's not an American film. It is in English, so they have accents that Solid Snake doesn't have. But if you can get over that, it's very, very good and enjoyable.
That's not that you get David Hayner for it anyway, so.
Yeah. I gotta wonder if a Mist movie is gonna work.
I'd like to see it just to see what they do with it. Like, Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't know because they weren't basing it on any particular game, so we had no idea where they were going to go with it.
The biggest influence on that game, according to Hironobu Sakaguchi. But Hironobu Sakaguchi, who directed the film, said his biggest influence for creating that film was Final Fantasy V. Which makes sense if you think about it, because Final Fantasy V begins in a similar fashion. Like, meteor crashes into the earth, a bunch of strange creatures start coming out from the meteor, group of heroes get together, try to find out what the hell is going on. That's how Final Fantasy V starts. That's basically what's going on in the movie.
See, that's one of the biggest problems though I thought they had with it. If they called it something else, it actually would have done a lot better.
If they had made it like an original story.
Yeah, because then you have preconceived notions of what happened.
Yeah, those hurt.
Like, I can understand, I could even understand, because, from 1 to 6, they were all medieval. And, 7 on, they were kind of, most of them were futuristic-esque.
Someone was trying to convince me that 6 is not medieval at all, and that is instead 100% steampunk. And I was like, it's got steampunk elements, but you're an idiot.
6 is getting more steampunk.
I said 6 has some steampunk elements, but you are an idiot.
Well, not medieval at all. I don't know. Yeah.
Like something like
sword, sorcery, castles, knights, maidens,
sorcery
princes.
is fairly downplayed. The royalty is still
probably,
there.
You know what? It's probably either Victorian or...
Steampunk is Victorian, but yeah.
Yeah, but more imaginary more than steampunk and Victorian.
Medieval is usually thought to be like feudal, like there's smaller, dukedoms and fiefdoms and stuff like that.
But even in medieval times, there was like one king or emperor type person that ruled over everything.
Over a relatively small territory.
No, there was one person that ruled over everything, and then everything else was divided up. That was ruled by like barons, dukes, or whatever.
Do you know what this is? It's the world's ugliest crustache, and I'm growing it in a tribute just to you and your royalty.
Oh, dude, I know that's how it worked.
No, I'm not 100% on this. You might be right, but
England still had a king, even when it was divided up into lands that were each ruled by
but nobody
individual
liked him. He was
people.
a tosser.
Speaking of which, Edgar.
Exactly.
Edgar in the Final Fantasy VI.
Edgar was the man.
Yeah, he was.
What exactly did he rule over? The entire
Figaro.
castle and his land was desert. He couldn't rule over anything.
Figaro. Hey, Figaro.
Yeah,
Well,
look how easy
his
that got
castle
taken
was-
over.
His
there's
castle
South
was
Sea.
awesome, though, because it buried itself in the sand and then uprooted somewhere else.
And then Kafka
And
said,
there-
son of a submariner.
Well, and he also said,
Submariner.
"Welcome to my barbecue." When he set the castle on fire.
yeah.
I love Kafka. I really do. Oh man, we are going into overtime. We should wrap this up.
Time. Yeah, let's call it a night.
This has been another edition of Press the Action Button podcast on digital-delirium.com. I am your host, Joystick. With me this week was Gameface. Say goodbye, Gameface.
Oh, yeah. Funky mama.
And with me this week was Glitch. Say goodbye, Glitch.
I still say Edgar was a coward, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
He was a lovable coward.
Yeah.
Mr. Thou, Mr. Thou, Mr. Thou. Okay, that's enough of that.
Mr. I remember. He said that gal.
Yeah.
Gal. Gal.
That scene was funny, though. A lot of people were annoyed by him. I thought his character was funny basically because of that scene.
All right, good night, America and the world.
Folks, Destroy City! Okay, we will talk to you guys next week. See you later. Is he ever gonna stop?
Nope. He's still going. He's still going. Come on, you can do it. Best goodbye ever.
You can stop anytime.
Waiting for you to stop.
We'll continue it next week.